You're not losing because of your strategy. You are losing because your strategy lacks context. It lacks structure and top-down analysis. A lot of traders keep changing strategy after a few weeks of hitting 5 to 10 losses. It's either they are doing SMC today, next week they are doing ICT, next week they're doing supply and demand, the other week they're doing Wyckoff. Before you know, they move to CRT, MNS Arrow. They are everywhere because when they choose a strategy that they want to learn, they totally forget that whatever strategy you're learning, you must inculcate top-down analysis to know overall market direction before you identify your structure and start looking for whatever you're looking for. Structure is the most important thing. And now structures are everywhere in the market. But now the thing is, how to get a valid structure? How do we identify a valid structure to trade from? And also, how do we know where price is going to overall? That is where you get what we call a top-down analysis. What are the things you use to validate a structure? Number one, it must cost a sweep. Number two, it must cause a breakout. Number three, it must cause an inducement. Then it becomes a valid structure. If there's no sweep, there's no breakout, there's no inducement, it is not a valid structure. Now let me show you guys. Now looking at this monthly time frame, we can clearly see a sweep here. It caused a breakout here. This guy made a sweep here, also caused a breakout. Now, why did this guy not hold? Because clearly did not leave an inducement. Caused a sweep, breakout, no inducement. This guy caused a sweep, broke out, no inducement. So, because it did not give an inducement, it will now use this point as inducement, this low here. It will now use this low as inducement. So, after we get this inducement, this now becomes our our zone. From the source candle, and we cover the whole rejection block, or we say the source candle, the rejection block, then we also identify the source candle. So with this, we now have an idea of what BTC is doing. BTC now wants to maybe move higher or move lower. How do we validate this? We now go to the weekly time frame. Now, on the weekly time frame, we now know our zone. This is the zone we should now concentrate on. What we do is we delete this. We are looking at the weekly. Then we zoom in. We zoom in and focus around this point. Now, like I said, to validate a structure, we need to see a sweep of a low. We need to see a sweep of a low. This is top-down analysis. Now, it is very obvious that we now have a sweep. First criteria met. Second criteria is there a breakout? There is no breakout. We move down to the lower time frame. Let me delete all this. I think this was a analysis I did earlier today. Let me remove this. So this is the zone we are expecting a breakout from the weekly, but there's no breakout yet. So we delete it from this point, not to get us confused. Now, this is where we got our sweep, an incoming low. Did it cause a breakout on the daily? Yes, it caused a breakout on the daily. Now, did daily leave an inducement? Yes, daily did. This is an inducement on the daily time frame. Now, where becomes our daily possible demand zone? Here, around this zone. We now know, okay, weekly, monthly will most likely buy. Weekly has created a sweep indicating an incoming low. Daily created a sweep and also caused a breakout, which indicating that, okay, even daily wants to buy on BTC. Then we'll go to 4 hours to indicate the current move. The current move. Now, monthly is saying buy, weekly is saying buy, daily is saying buy. Now, what is 4 hours saying? We now go to the immediate structure. Now, we're no longer trading in isolation. We now know where price is going to overall. Price wants to cause a weekly breakout. But is it guaranteed? We don't know. But what do we do? Looking at 4 hours, now where is the last structure? The last structure of 4 hours is this guy here. You see? This guy here. And See, left an inducement here and caused the breakout. It's as easy as that. Did it cause a sweep? Yes, it did. Where's the sweep? We'll mark out the sweep. Can see the sweep. Did it cause a breakout? Yes, it caused the breakout. It caused the breakout. Or we can mark out this most obvious point. And next thing you see, we identify our what? Inducement zone. Look at our inducement zone. Now, this is the last valid 4 hours structure. Now, where are we now looking forward to trade? We mark out all our point of interest. I'll teach about point of interest in my subsequent videos, but I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of how to streamline your attention to the immediate price. Is when you have an idea of where market is going to from the top to the bottom. That is when you can trade whatever you want to trade. Is it trend line you want to trade? Here, people who trade trend line can say, okay, we now know what price wants to do. You can take your trend line trade here, break, retest, and it doesn't matter what you want to trade. Then at this point, the next question is, do we have a breakout? Do we have a sweep? Yes, we do have a sweep here. Is there a sweep? Yes, we have a sweep. Is there a breakout? Is there a sweep? Yes, we have a sweep. Is there a breakout? Yes, we have a breakout. Is there an inducement? Yes, we have an inducement at this point here. So, where are we going to take our trade? Because currently now, our source candle has already been tapped. So, we focus on the rejection block. And we take our trade here. Where are we now targeting? Target this external range here. External range liquidity. And stop loss just below here. No guesswork. So whatever you're trading, you must look for a way to know how to do top-down analysis and also understand your structure. Let's do a recap. You must understand that for a structure to be most likely valid, it has to meet up 3 criteria. First criteria is it must cause a sweep, it must cause a breakout, and it must leave an inducement in form of the normal inducement you can see here or an engineered liquidity. That is how you identify a valid structure instead of you marking random structures on your chart. Thanks for watching this clip, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye, guys.